This video is to show you the basics of order of operations. And sorry guys, I'm taking it on my phone, so it's not going to be as neat or as still with the camera. But let's see if we can go through this real quick and do a couple sample problems. So what we have is we have the, there we go. We have the order of operations. We have PEMDAS written right here. So P stands for parentheses, E for exponents, which we haven't done yet, M and D stands for multiplication and division, and the A and the S stand for addition and subtraction. Now, as you notice, when I write down my PEMDAS, I don't write them down in a straight line. I instead write them down as P and then E. M and D are on the same line. What that means is when you get to the multiplication division steps, the multiplication division steps always come before the addition subtraction, but the multiplying and dividing, you do them in order from left to right instead of going and always doing multiplication before division. So let's do a couple sample problems and see if I can show you the basics of PEMDAS here. So the first video I have has a parentheses. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to solve inside the parentheses by saying -7 minus 2 is a -9. And then I'm going to add that to -4 to get -13. So you would have gotten a different answer if you had done the -4 first. You had to solve what's ever inside the parentheses. Every single time that I do anything with PEMDAS or anything with 3 or 4 numbers, I want you to get in the habit of showing your steps as you work. That way you'll make sure that you're always doing things in the right order. So now let's look down here at the second one that I wrote for us. I have -4 plus 7 times -2, and I decided to use that X multiplication symbol for you here today, but it would be the exact same thing as if you had written -4 plus 7 times -2, because parentheses just mean to multiply as well. Now, if I look at my PEMDAS, I would do anything inside parentheses first. Well, in this problem, there's no parentheses, and in this one, there's nothing to solve inside the parentheses. So I'd go to exponents, which we don't have any yet, multiplying and dividing. So I'd do anything with multiplying and dividing in my problem. So I look at that as a 7 times -2, and I get a -14, and then I have a -4. You got to pay attention to this sign. I looked at it as a +7 times a -2 is a -14. But sometimes you got to be careful, because if that's a subtraction sign, you would have to look at that as a -7 times a -2. Or you would have to carry down that subtraction sign. Either way, I'm good right here. If you really wanted to, you could still carry down the addition sign if you wanted to, because -4 minus 14 is the same thing. -4 minus 14 is the exact same thing as saying -4 plus a -14. Remember, keep, change, change? They're the same equations. So -4 plus -14 is a -18. What I did in this problem is first I did the multiplication, then I did the addition part of the problem. That's why this multiplication is above the line of addition, because I always have to solve my multiplication first. Otherwise, I'd get a different answer. Okay, now on this wonderful question. I have -4 divided by 2 times 6. So what I have for this question is there's no parentheses, there's no exponents. So now I'm on this multiplying dividing line. These are those tricky types of questions where you have to realize that, okay, I'm going to do all the multiplication and division in order from left to right. So what that means is the first thing I'm going to do is -4 divided by 2, which is a -2. -2 times 6 is -12. Okay. Now, the last question I have for my short little video here has -15 minus 6 plus 2 times 5. So I'm going to go through all the rules of my PEMDAS. Are there any parentheses? Nope, not in this question. Any exponents? No. So then I'm going to do all of the multiplication and division. So there's no multiplication right here, there's none right here, up 2 times 5. So I need to do 2 times 5. When I do my multiplying, it took the 2, it took the 5, and it turns it into 10. So then from here, I just rewrite the rest of my problem. The 2 and the 5 turned into 10. The negative 15 stays, the subtraction, the 6, the plus sign, all of that stays. So now on my PEMDAS, I've done all the multiplying, dividing, so I'm up to the adding and subtracting. Remember, adding and subtracting are on the same level of my PEMDAS when I write it out this way. So that means I do addition and subtraction in the order from left to right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the subtraction. You would get a completely different answer if you did that part first. So you really have to be careful and follow the order of operations. So from here, I get negative 21 plus 10. And when I have negative 21 plus 10, I get negative 11.